So for me, I'm going to save a lot of money right now on shipping and stuff. And me and him, I made him so much money. I mean, so much good money. I still socked away, $500,000.
That's
I
beautiful.
Away $500,000, John, which the program automatically pops up for me in there,
Right.
And then, I said, you know what, because I was telling one of my suppliers, which is up in the Arlington area, he was one of my main suppliers. He's got his yard is growing massively, and he's got his own trucks now. So for me, I'm going to save a lot of money right now on shipping and stuff. And me and him, I made him so much money. I mean, so much good money. I still socked away, $500,000.
That's
I
beautiful.
socked away $500,000, John, which was good because when this happened with me being ill and sick, I was able to sit back and get well and go through all my treatments and
not have to stress about
Dallas,
the money
took over
situation.
that account, the Pallet, but I was getting these checks in the mail,
Right. Yeah. And that's great. That makes my heart warm hearing that, because putting the stress of trying to create an income while you're sick is an impossible situation. It probably helps you get better without having
Well, it really did, because running that business with that kind of money and those kind of numbers, I built a pretty good relationship with them. I was always down there. They had monthly meetings. I was in on those monthly meetings. And that was what's important, and that's why I managed to keep that account.
Yeah, and is this the ones wanting A's?
Yeah, PetMate was all A's, John. It was
Right.
all A company. Now, they did get 2-3 loads of B from me because they had some other stuff that was going out, and they could use B's, but their primary units was all A's. They were all A company, and they still are. But then it was crazy. Like I said, John, when I got sick and my health was really, I was at one time, I was worried more about losing body parts because that's how bad things were.
That's serious.
But now, like I said, I'm down here in the Houston area. A lot of people, I got all the supply. I reached out to my suppliers just the other day, and they were so excited to hear from me because I've done so much business with them, John, and every one of them.
Isn't that great?
Your credit's good with us. If you need anything, let us know. Whatever you need. And one of my suppliers, he's got his own trucks now. So that alone is going to save me a huge amount of money because he's got his own trucks and we did so much business. He's willing to do the
deliveries as well.
The shipping and deliveries for me, and just paid the cost of the truck for the fuel, which is about $300.
That's
drive
wonderful.
Down from Dallas to Houston. Now, if he's local, then it won't cost me anything because he's making all his profit off the pallets.
Right. So if he's doing when you can say local, are you saying a 30-mile, 60-mile radius?
Yeah, local. Like he's up in the Arlington area, so anything from Fort Worth, Dallas.
Gotcha.
The Arlington area, maybe even a little bit south, because there you got Fairfield, you got those little small towns, around the Dallas Fort Worth area. So anything kind of regional would be, Houston, San Antonio, Austin, even Beaumont. But my other shipper that I used for so long, because I had a good shipper, his prices were a little high, but I never had any problems. He had professional trucks. He took care of all that invoicing that he would send them, and he had all that covered. But I had so much money coming in, I could afford it. It was worth it to me
to have somebody reliable.
That was a good shipper, where I didn't have guys showing up and beat up on trucks, because what PetMate, they had to have 53-foot trailers that could back up to the dock so their forklifts could pull in and the times, but they're really a big company.
Right.
He can do 774 at a time with one of his flatbeds.
Wow.
Standard 48 by 40s. That's a good size load,
Yeah.
to increase the profits.
But the time it takes them to unload it, if they don't have the ramp situation or whatever, so that comes into play as well when they're always trying to maximize their employees as well as far as getting this type of stuff unloaded and all that. So that's probably why. The larger the company, the more specific they are, right?
If you've got 3 or 4 or 5 loads, you can be on a 10-day, 10-day payment.
For sure.
Well, see, like I said, I decided, you know what, before I jump off into this too deep, I want to reach out to my suppliers, see where the numbers are at. You can still make your money. Your it's just like anything else. You know, you broker it. You know, you can broker anything. Maybe I just, like I said, this all happened for me so quickly, and then I was going through so much volume so quickly. Like I said, my original business model was going to be to get my trailer and
do it local.
You know, that was it. I didn't realize it was going to jump ahead so far. And then the next thing you know, I'm just basically not touching a pallet. I didn't even see a pallet, John.
Right, and that's kind of the beauty.
You could go up there and I'd go around to the back, and they just had mountains and mountains of pallets, and that's just their overflow. Their primary is inside to take care of the outside. That was my job, was to keep that overflow full. And that was about 2,500 pallets. People
don't realize, you know, there are literally mountains of pallets out there to deal with, and
well, and like I said, for me, knowing now that, you know, since I've got so many suppliers that I have a great relationship, and I reached out to them, and every one of them was like, hey, anything you need, you let us know. I got kind of an unlimited supply of pallets, A's and B's, and it's primarily A's and B's. Any specialty pallets, that's a different story. You know, I can always reach out to Eric, and that's because now that I'm down here in the Houston area, I'm actually south of that I've seen come across my AOL account, and I clicked on it, and it went to the page. It went, you know, to the middleman lifestyle page, which I'm, you know, a member, so it automatically puts me in there.
Okay.
And I came across this guy's name's middle name there, but I don't know what that is.
Okay.
And it says he's in Houston, Texas. I'm in need of a large supply of pallets in the following sizes. And it says I'm in need of a large supply of pallets in the following sizes. First thing he's got is 48 by 40 A's and B's. And then he's got block pallets, and then he's got 40 by 48, 45, 44 by 44, 36 by 40. And it says the Simplest Biz Middleman Moneymaker.
Yeah, if they're in the group, they've been through the training, and you know, that's the only way you get in there.
She was the best investment I ever made.
Well, I'll need to put that on a billboard. I
remember
me and
you talking, but like I said, so much has happened in this life. And I told myself the other day, I said, I really got to reach out to John, because I'm jumping back off into this.
I think
I'm really set with that. That's not going to be the problem, because I have plenty of supply. And I got all the credit I could want, you know.
Well, the thing that's cool about it is that you've been out of it for a minute because of your health, and now you're able to jump back in because of the relationships you learned to build, and you know what you learned in here and the training and in the group, and that's just cool. That's badass as far as I'm concerned.
I've met so many people, and I've built so many relationships, and that's always been my motto with the people that I have met. And it's the first thing I always tell them, it's all about these relationships. If you don't build relationships, you're not going to get anywhere. You might be a one and done. You might make a little money for a little while, but if you don't have a good relationship with your other vendors and people in the group, and especially with the customers that you want to get, if you land a customer, you've got to interact with them. Deliveries, you really need to be going by there and seeing these people and kind of building a friendship.
Oh, absolutely.
Just like the conversation you and me are having right now.
It's so important. It's so important.
It really, and that's that way with anything. I got the pet mate the other day, and as a matter of fact, they called me back, and I'm waiting on a call back from them, because you know how it is. When they have vendors, there's always going to have some problems down the road.
Right.
Or a supplier, you know, one of the vendors isn't meeting up to what they're supposed to be doing, and they're making promises they can't keep. And then, you know, they're such a big company, they have to make sure that their units are coming and their backup supplies is always staying full.
Right.
And, you know, then their vendors are, you know what I mean, these bigger pallet yard companies, opposed to smaller people like myself, sometimes they don't get the service that they're going to get out of the smaller companies, you know?
I hear you. Yeah. It's
these pallet yards they're just unbelievable.
See, they don't offer reliability. That's what happened with people operating that manner.
They're always not being honest. It's always, if you're dishonest and you keep trying to get over on people, eventually, I believe in karma. One day it's going to come back and bite you on the butt.
Well, reality is just going to bite him in the butt as well. It's not always about price. There's a lot more that goes into these deals, as you know, to be able to make them work. So it's all important. People neglect.
You can't be greedy, you know. I'm not one of those people. I'm not going to be greedy. You know, when you're talking, especially when you're talking about, you know, I'm trying to do volume. I'm trying to do
multiple
minimum
truckloads.
You know, at
Yeah,
least one.
you're talking Houston. Well, how many tens of thousands of businesses there are to find those types?
Yeah, they're everywhere. And here, it's like Dallas in the area, the massive warehouses that are going up here, John. They're going up so fast. It's just unbelievable.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Warehouses, some of the smaller pallet companies, they won't even have a conversation with them unless they can actually get them 3 or 4 loads a week consistently. And sometimes they want references. They want to know that you're going to be able to do that. And that's the one good thing. I have pushed hundreds of thousands of pallets. So, man, I got the references there. But, I've got access to all the supply I could want.
I love it.
I really do. So I started thinking, you know what? When I seen that post earlier, I was like, wait a minute, I can probably start getting back in the group and checking the group, and you see these people that all of a sudden pops up and they're needing whatever. And that caught my attention.
Yeah, it's important, especially if you want to do the larger deals, and if you're wanting to broker. That's why I specifically do brokering myself for my deals, is when it's very large orders. I don't want to have to get into the building operations like Brad and them have done personally, but I'd rather stack up a lot of brokering deals where I'm making a cut. And I think you're doing it the right way, less stress.
You don't have all that headache there,
A lot of moving parts when you go in.
I know you used to, that's how I found you when you were on YouTube and you were going out in your U-Haul truck and stuff,
Well, that's dodging the honeydew list, but
all those years, you were raking it in.
Well, I tell you this, though.
Is when I was so busy on the phones making deals, loads prepared.
But it gets easy. I've been at this for 20-something years. So I have these relationships that are pretty set in stone and network that I've built out. So, yeah, back in the day when you're trying to build out all this network and get it going and building it out, heck yeah, you can get busy to do that. But once you have these, rock solid relationships and
yes.
Your life gets easier. Even the local stuff's easy.
For you, you've built so many relationships and got so many connections and so many clients and so many. You're just set, till if you ever decide to retire, whether you're on the phone or whatever, as long as you're physically able.
No, it's right. If you're making mailbox money, as well, especially with the brokering side of it.
Yeah, that's me. Honestly, I love the brokering. And Eric, my brother, he said, y'all just took off because they started their own brokering side. Eric was running that.
Right.
But me and Eric were pushing. Because Eric was getting them at several locations.
Right, I got you.
And Eric and me had this conversation a while back. He was like, man, I had never had anybody where things took off and we were doing so many loads consistently. I said, well, I didn't expect that either, but
it's there.
It just took off.
Well, you know what it shows? If you know your stuff and you're reliable and trustworthy and honest and do this the right way, what a need is there in this scarred niche of people that are, a lot of them have given it a bad name, right? So,
yes, of course.
Like I say, it's like knocking out third graders if you know your stuff.
And turned 60. Now, if I was real young again, still, like my one buddy up there, he's brokered, but he's still got his own trailers. He's got his yard, and he's still, man, he sees them. He'll be going out to dinner with his daughter, and he's always in his truck. He says, if I see 2 or 3, I'll pull over there and grab them.
Well, he just paid for his meal.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's the same old thing. I'll be driving with my daughter to this day, and she might see him before me, and I'll look at her, and she says, don't even say it, Dad. I don't want to hear it. That's all you talk about is the pallets.
That's funny. I was doing that the other day. I said, I feel pallets. I was riding around with my wife. I feel them, I could just feel that we were in some strange area, and sure it's, heck, 200 yards away, I look over to the left, and there was like 500 pallets sitting there. I could smell them.
Yeah, and my daughter, I told my daughter, I said, this is what's going to send you to college, so you better kind of think about what you say.
That's right.
Because this is going to pass. That wood right there, because, a lot of people think you're in the pallet business, they already think you're one of them guys.
You think you're Sanford and Son.
You're a scavenger, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I have the utmost respect for guys that have their big trailers and they're going, that's their business model and they're doing good at it. And that's, they're set up for that. But, I try to tell people they don't quite understand that, I'm moving semi-truck bulls that you don't know what's in that semi-trailer. But so many semi-trailers that you see on the interstate, you don't realize a lot of those trucks are full of pallets.
Not even inventory, but pallets is the inventory inside the thing. Hundreds upon hundreds. And, the reason I still would get out there and do the A to B is, I've said it in my videos, I'm dodging my wife's honeydew list. Getting out of the house. Or I could sneak off to play a little golf after I get done early. That kind of thing. So, there was,
well, see,
and plus I enjoyed it. You're out there.
I got you on the phone because I know that you got a lot of connections and everything now, and all my business accounts, everything. I think when I started this business, I think honestly, John, when I first got my business cards, out of those 150 business cards, I've only passed out 6 of those, and that's when things took off.
Wow!
And I never looked back because I honestly couldn't handle it. Just kind of let you know what's been going on, see how you're doing, let you know what my next venture in this.
That's fantastic.
Like I said, I've got the experience under my belt now with the brokering, and I've got all my supply ready to go, shipping, everything. I got covered everything.
Right, you're in a new area. You're starting ramping right back up. So I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, because next week is Monday. I told my daughter Monday I'm going out over into the.
Well, the fact you see this now that you've been doing it a minute. You have these yahoos out here that these businesses have run into, but you come up and you know your stuff and you speak well and you know which questions to ask and which problems to solve. And you don't get that over a phone call. Plus, you don't get to see what the heck operation's going on over a phone call. So I love going into, eyeball to eyeball for sure.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to communicate with people because they never know how much crap you're full of over the phone, or you're just another telemarketer.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when I first had to find my supply, and I needed $2,500 a week. Finally, it said, "Yeah, right," because they didn't believe that I needed 2,500 pallets a week. They didn't believe that.
Right.
They thought I was blowing smoke up their butt.
Yeah.
So, it's just like I said, I think when you meet these people in person, you talk to people face to face, you get a better result. You have that confidence and you've done the business and you've moved a lot of numbers. That alone gives you the confidence and the knowledge, and then you have the references to back it up.
Oh, that's beautiful. And some people put themselves in a box and they limit themselves out what they think is feasible in this, which is, that's a trap as well. But then again, there's some people who just want to make a couple $1,000 a week and live their life too. Whatever floats your boat, you can do in this. Absolutely.
Will need to reach out to you for whatever reason. You can give me some advice, or maybe we end up doing something together. Sure. You know what I mean? Like you said, if I come across something, I think you might want to get in on it. We can do something together. You know what I mean?
I like it. Give me a call.
I sure will, John. Hey, it was good talking to you.
You too, man. You enjoyed it. Let's touch base in a couple of weeks and give me an update.
I sure will, buddy. Okay.
All right. Enjoy your day.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. I love my students.